heading into week 2 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few guards I've looked to add this week to my roster. The first guy, Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies. So Desmond Bane last season, he signed a nice contract in the offseason with the Grizzlies. But now so far this year, he's been playing good basketball here, is Desmond Bane for this Memphis Grizzlies team. And he's getting run, he's getting time to play here for this team, and he's looking good so far, is Desmond Bane. So the first few games of the season here for Bane, he's been added in 9% of fantasy leagues, but he's still out there in 51% of fantasy leagues. So October 20th versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 threes. October 23rd at the Clippers, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 3-pointers, and 46% from the field. And October 24th at the Lakers yesterday, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 threes. So right now he's playing about 30 minutes a game here for this Memphis Grizzlies team. He's showing some 3-point range. He's playing pretty good defense, and he's a decent rebounder as well at the guard position. And he qualifies at point guard and shooting guard. So right now, if you need some help in those categories, I think Desmond Bane is a good add this week. The next look to get this week's Cam Reddish of the Atlanta Hawks. Cam Reddish, we know his potential coming out of college basketball a few seasons ago with Duke. And last season, he was just banged up a lot for this Atlanta Hawk team. But right here so far, he's off to a good start in the first 2 games of the season. October 21st versus Dallas, 20 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 3 threes, and 46% from the field. And October 23rd versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 threes, and 50% from the field. So right here, this Hawk team, we know they're loaded with a lot of players. Bogdanovich, Trae Young, obviously, Clint Capella, Cam Reddish, Kevin Huerter, Danilo Gallinari. So a lot of good options and shooters on this team. But right now, the first 2 games, Cam Reddish has looked good, playing 21 minutes and then 28 minutes. And we'll see tonight what he does versus the Detroit Pistons here. But he's available still in 62% of fantasy leagues. And if you need some help here, scoring and 3-point shooting, I think Reddish is a decent add. The next guard's Terrence Ross of the Orlando Magic. So it was surprising to me that Ross is available in 70% of fantasy leagues, because we know he's a great scorer of the basketball. And he showed that last night at the New York Knicks, where he scored 13 points in the 4th quarter here. So Terrence Ross, the first few games of the season, October 20th at the Spurs, 15 points, 3 rebounds, a 3-pointer, 50% from the field. October 22nd versus the Knicks, 12 points, a rebound, and assist, 4 threes, and 50% from the field. And then last night at the Knicks, he exploded, 22 points, a rebound, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes, and 54% from the field. So right here, we know Ross isn't going to give you much categories besides 3-point shooting and scoring the basketball. But he's one of the better players, obviously, on this Orlando Magic team. And he can help you, like I mentioned, decent field goal percentage, scoring the basketball, and hitting threes. And he's available still in a whopping 70% of fantasy leagues. The next guard is Derrick Rose of the New York Knicks. Derrick Rose, he looked great last season with the New York Knicks, especially in the playoffs. And so far this season, he's off to a good start. The first few games for him, October 20th versus Boston, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, and a 3. October 22nd in Orlando, 12 points, 7 assists, 4 threes, 50% from the field. And last night versus the Magic, he looked good in that ball game, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 5 threes, and 56% from the field. So D Rose here, in my opinion, so far in the first 3 games of the season, he's been a more productive guard at the point guard position than Kemba Walker. And Kemba Walker seems like he hasn't done much so far for this Knicks team. And Derrick Rose, he's coming off the bench as their 6th man here, and he's really producing with good numbers. He's playing good ball games, and his 3-point shots definitely improved as well. So right here, Derrick Rose giving fantasy owners a little bit of everything, and he's playing anywhere from about 25 to 30 minutes a game. And he's definitely a guard I would add this week, and he's available in 49% of fantasy leagues. And the 5th and final guard I would look to add this week's Cole Anthony of the Orlando Magic. So Cole Anthony, he's heating up now in his 2nd season in the NBA. And the Magic, I know they're going to be a bad team this season, a rebuilding team, but they got a few players over there in Orlando. So Cole Anthony, the first few games of the season, October 20th at the Spurs, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a 3. 25% from the field. That's the one thing that he's going to hurt you a lot in, is field goal percentage. October 22nd versus the Knicks, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, 2 threes, 21% from the field. But last night at the Knicks, he went off 29 points, a whopping 16 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, 5 threes, and 56% from the field. So right here, Cole Anthony almost putting up a triple-double in last night's ball game at the New York Knicks. And we know this guy, he's a great talent. He was one of the better draft picks in the NBA draft in the 2021 season draft. But right here, Cole Anthony, he's available right now in 64% of fantasy leagues, and he's going to get every opportunity here to play well for this Orlando Magic team. So that's a few guards I look to add this week, heading into week 2 of the fantasy basketball season.